When you think about real estate, you probably think fortunes are found in the hottest markets, right? But what if I told you they're actually created? Created by knowing the rules of the game way better than anyone else. Today, we're going to break down an absolutely fascinating strategy that does exactly that.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in one of America's wealthiest, most competitive real estate markets. I'm talking about the neighboring communities of Chevy Chase and Bethesda, Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. Seriously, this is the kind of place where just finding a deal feels pretty much impossible.
So, that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? In an area where properties are just snapped up in crazy bidding wars and prices are just going through the roof, where could there possibly be a hidden opportunity? I mean, how do you even get an edge?
And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about here, check this out. The median home price in Bethesda has just soared to $1.3 million. That is a jaw-dropping 46% jump since 2019. So getting into this market, it takes more than just a boatload of cash. It demands a totally different way of thinking.
And this is where our strategy really kicks in. See, the secret isn't about finding some underpriced house nobody noticed. No, it's about finding a set of rules that everyone else has overlooked. The real gold is buried deep inside the local zoning code, a place most people, honestly, never even think to look. Okay, so the first piece of the puzzle is something called a floating zone. Now, think of this like having a secret wild card in a deck of cards. A property might look like just a normal single-family home on the outside, but this special designation, it lets the owner apply to build something way, way bigger. We're talking multiple townhomes. It's a rare and, believe me, incredibly powerful advantage. All right, key number 2 is a brand new law called Housing Now. It's actually designed to tackle the housing shortage by fast-tracking development near transit. And for the handful of properties that qualify, it slashes what's normally a multi-year approval nightmare down to just 18 months. You see what that does? It creates a huge first-mover advantage for anyone who's ready to jump on it. So when you put these two zoning secrets together, wow, the potential for transformation is just incredible. You're not just buying one house anymore. You're actually acquiring the legal right to replace it with up to 5 luxury townhomes. You're basically multiplying the value of the exact same piece of land. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like some high-risk, all-or-nothing development gamble, right? But the strategy is way smarter than that. It's actually built on a foundation of safety, creating this kind of financial moat around the whole project. Get this. The properties in this portfolio aren't just sitting there empty, waiting for a bulldozer. Nope, they're fully operational, and they're churning out a combined $450,000 in gross rental income every single year. This isn't just passive income, you guys. This is the engine that powers the entire strategy. So what this does is create this brilliant two-phase approach. In phase 1, you just generate income. The properties literally pay for themselves. That $450,000 in rent, it covers the mortgage, the taxes, all the legal fees you need to get those development rights. This completely de-risks phase 2, which is when you actually execute the redevelopment. That income stream buys you patience, the patience to wait for the absolute perfect moment to strike. And speaking of timing, man, it could not be better. This whole thing isn't just about some clever zoning trick. The strategy is perfectly timed to ride this massive wave of investment that's just flooding into the area. These properties, they're sitting at the absolute epicenter of a multi-billion-dollar boom. I mean, we are talking about a literal tidal wave of new development. You've got Hampton House with 366 new apartments, the Charles with 301 luxury units. The Mazza Galleria is being redeveloped. Strathmore Square, that's over 2,200 units planned. Bethesda West is another 1.1 million square feet. All this creates this powerful gravitational pull, cranking up demand and making sure there's a deep, deep pool of buyers for those future townhomes. But the ultimate catalyst? The real game changer, it's the arrival of the Purple Line. This is a massive $9.5 billion light rail project that's already almost 80% done. And history shows us when new transit lines open up, property values nearby jump. We're talking 15 to 30%. This isn't speculation, it's a locked-in driver of future growth. Okay, so let's recap. We've got the secret zoning code, the cash flow safety net, and the massive market boom. Now, let's put it all together and see what this actually means for the bottom line. This is where you can really visualize the incredible power of this whole strategy. And the difference is, well, it's just night and day. Look at this. If you just play it safe, hold the properties and collect rent, the portfolio is projected to be worth about 6.5 million bucks by 2030. Hey, that's a great outcome, right? But by actually executing the redevelopment strategy, that value just explodes, with projections shooting up from 9.5 to nearly $14 million.
Now, let's be super clear about what this means. This isn't just the market going up. This strategy actively creates, as in manufactures, up to an extra $7.4 million in equity, basically out of thin air, all by just understanding and applying the rules of the zoning code. It's the difference between finding value and literally making it yourself.
So, what's the big idea here? What's the takeaway? I mean, this specific portfolio is fascinating for sure, but the principle behind it? That's a powerful lesson for anyone interested in real estate. Let's call it the real estate X-ray, the ability to see what's underneath the surface. So let's just quickly run through the key drivers that make this whole thing tick. First, you've got regulatory arbitrage, using those unique zoning rules. Second, an income floor, that cash flow that protects you from risk. Third, market timing, riding that multi-billion-dollar development wave. Fourth, a transit catalyst, leveraging the new Purple Line. And finally, location, a prime supply-crunched market. Every single one of those pieces is absolutely critical. And this quote from the source material really just nails it. It says it's not just one thing, but the convergence of all these trends. When you get demographics, regulations, and location all pointing in the same direction, that's when you get an opportunity that is truly, truly special. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? This story isn't just about a wealthy neighborhood in Maryland. These same principles could apply anywhere. It really makes you wonder, what hidden value, what overlooked rules or new laws are locked away in your own neighborhood zoning code, just waiting for someone with the right vision to come along and find them?